Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Logjam from CZT Wayne Harlow. Now, I was going through some things and I was reminded of this tangle. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is such a cool tangle. We have to do this. So I put a little border around my bijou towel just because I didn't feel like going off the edge. And so here's how it starts. Number one, a C-shaped curve line. So I'm going to go all the way around the bottom. Not around the bottom. I'm going to just go on the bottom. And, you know, these kind of look like gumdrops, you could say. But however you want to draw them. And you could even do like this, where it's just a, you know, consecutive row. Now, the next, interesting, as I was redoing it, I was thinking, gosh, you could almost flip a couple of these steps, but we're going to follow Wayne's step out, and that is in the center. Actually, what was I thinking? I was thinking, I could put in step 4 here, like exchange step 4 and 2, but, you know, it's neither here nor there. I mention that because now if you have a challenge, if you think it's easier, you know, think about that, and, you know, put some comments in and let me know. But following Wayne's step out, we're going to put a long straight line in the center of each of these curved lines. This one, well, this is kind of 3/4 of the way, so we'll put it there. All right, then another row of curved lines. So this one is going to be kind of like a half, so I like to start it here and go backwards that way. But here, same thing. And on this one, though, you do kind of want to make sure to line, when you're coming in, line that up so that way you don't have a little weirdness. And there we have it. Then the next step is back down here where we drew these straight lines. And this is the one I was thinking, you know, you could probably get away with doing this one, you know, after doing this first row. But I kind of get the reason not to. All right. And I was thinking, well, if you have trouble, you know, putting things in halves, I don't know. Again, still something to think about. All right, so from this, you know, I'm going to do the full row and then I'll come back. So from here, we're going to do more curved lines. But you see how they're you know, on the half, but, you know, alternating, going over, they're bridging over, you know, the little gaps here. And let me do this one here. Okay. Oop, and then this one would have a little start. Okay, then, and so yeah, so what I was thinking is you could do one line of curved lines, then another line of curved lines, you know, making sure to go half, 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 you know, in the middle, and then put your straight lines right through. That's what I was thinking. All right, now I got it out of my system. Thanks. Thanks for listening. All right, next step is, so not on the first row, on the second row of curved lines, we're gonna essentially aura this. So I'm gonna start here. And so these are just little curved lines, and just aura, you know, about like so, and doing each one. Probably because I haven't had dinner yet, I'm thinking, oh, these could look like, what were those, Swiss cake rolls or something like that. I need to make a food category, because a lot of times when we're doing tangles on, you know, on our live things and whatnot, and then I'm going to say, let me do this little half here, this little portion, and then this portion here. We'll come up with, you know, food items for what the tangles look like. It's funny. All right. And there we go. And then it's essentially, we're just going to repeat. So from this curved line, that's this line right here. Okay, so then it would just start the steps over again, actually starting from number 2. So this is would essentially be number 1. So here we're going to do, you know, the long straight line. And this one, because this was a full one, I can kind of start right here. I feel like I need to turn this tile so I can, there we go, so I can see, because otherwise my hand was in the way of seeing those lines. All right, and the thing you want to make sure with this straight line, and I guess that's also why I was thinking that it might be an idea to switch those two steps, is because you just want to make sure that the line is big enough, or long enough, I should say, so that way then you end up with, you know, what looks like a log. And then again, and we're starting from the previous curved line, and that's where we're starting the aura there. You know, and just a few lines. And I found it easier. It's easier to aura, you know, this curved line than to start down here, because I was tempted to do that, and that's why I'm sharing it. All right. And again, then we just continue. And you just have to watch the alternating, because I know when I did, when I did this row, as I was replaying with it, I was like, oh, but wait, oh yeah, so I don't know, I was thinking making it harder, I think, than I needed to or something, and I was like, well, wait a minute, oh no, it's the same as where I started, so it's all okay. All right. And then we'll do the little aura. This is sometimes one where, you know, I start it, you know, or I get it done, and I'm kind of like, meh, it's, you know, it's all right. But it's one of those where, and when we add the shading, this one is looking okay. Actually, I think it's looking pretty good. All right, so now we're going to get this last bit here. And that one would be hidden. That one would be hidden. And so our curved lines, this one again is on, since I started it on, well, actually, oh yeah, so the half, this one, this should not be curved. That should be a little straight. Okay. So, because, you know, since I started here, that's why I'm reminding myself, no, it starts on the line, so it's all okay. And then, so these curved lines are just getting right up to the top, and that one will not finish, maybe a little bit. Okay, and then our last bit of doing these auras, and then we'll add some shading. But as I was saying, sometimes you're doing a tangle, and this is one of those where I was like, oh. And then you add the shading, and then sometimes, honestly, I haven't mentioned this in a while, sometimes just walking away from it, turn it over, don't look at it, and then come back, you know, a few minutes or a day later, whatever it takes, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, who did that? That's really amazing. And I love that about Zentangle. And sometimes it does help to just let it alone. So if you're not happy with something, give that a try. All right, so I'm going to put some graphite. I'm putting it on, this would be the left edge. Of course, that is up to you, but I'm just going to put this on the left edge. And this is my idea of shading. Of course, if you have a, probably many ways that one could shade this. Actually, you could even do this one with just the, the little hash marks, just, doing them in a row. What was the, Planetine? That was the one that, it kind of looks like, in my opinion, it kind of looked like tubing or something. And let's see. And then this one, we got to get these up here. This would be this side. Got to be consistent. All right. What we did on that one was just using the pen and added some just little curve lines to denote the curve, and it just has a really neat look when you do that. Okay, so now I'm just bringing out the graphite about halfway-ish. And I want to have a nice gradient so that it's darkest, in that crevice. I had first thought to do it so that way it was coming on both sides, but actually it really looks neat just doing the one side. And it's one of those, if you need to add some graphite, add some graphite. I like to start a little bit light so I can add versus having graphite remorse. Well, sorry for the little camera shake. I had another camera that it was working, and then it kept locking up my computer, so I was like, well, let's just go back to the phone. It seems to work well. I just have to get not so rambunctious with my shading. Which is also, light touch is always good. Alright. And I'm just bringing it in because I really like to have that gradient. You know, and too, because I did this here, you could just add a little bit, you know, if you wanted to come over on that back edge of those, that could look kind of neat as well. My main thing is I don't like having the line of that initial pencil mark. I tried to make sure it's soft and that the pencil lead is not pointed, so that way I'm not digging in, because the Zentangle tiles are a cotton tile, and there is a technique, which is a really cool technique, where you could dig in and stuff, but it's like generally I don't want that. Okay, oops. And then these beginning ones, and this one I'm just using, let me do that last, using what's left on the tortillon. These ones are really light. Let's add some more. See that shaking out of the corner of my eye. So sorry. At least it's not on the other arm I had was bendy, and so it was just like, you know, any breath it seemed like, and the whole thing would just kind of shake. Okay, so there we have it. Isn't that a cool tangle? And even looking at mine, I could go quite a bit darker. Let's just try that because I want you to see some of these ones that were darker. Like these ones, you can see that well. I was like, I wasn't seeing it, but I thought, well, maybe the camera will pick it up a little bit better. No. And there's my friend Tom, who is, him and his wife Carla are on my, hi Tom and Carla, if you're watching. As he always says, go dark or go home, as we're doing shading, and I love that saying. It's so cool. And it's true. You know, it's like, I used to watch, it's like a decorating show, and I can't remember what it was called, Color Splash or something like that. And that was one thing that he, you know, like, don't be afraid of color, don't be afraid of boldness. And I love that when Tom says that when we're on a call, it's because his tangling, well, both of theirs is so gorgeous, and that's the saying. There we go. That looks a little bit better. So, and as you notice, I didn't touch the front at all. I mean, that's something you could do. You can have even more fun with it, adding, you know, if you feel like adding color or whatever. But it's a fun tangle, and I hope you enjoyed it. In the description section, of course, will be my step out, and as well as ways to connect. So if you would like to join me on a class, I do both paid and free classes. So the schedule and information is on my website, as well as ways to follow me, because I do post them on a couple of platforms. That way you could be notified when there's classes, and even Facebook. You know, we have a really great Facebook community going, and I do, of course, post my classes there. So if you want to join us, would love to have you. And with that, except for asking kindly, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love to have you be a subscriber. And if you are, or if you do, make sure you hit the notification bell so that way you decide how you want to be notified, if you want to be notified at all, of the tangles. And I think that's it. So with that, again, I hope you enjoyed, and I wish you happy tangling.